Ada was a tall, loud-voiced woman who ruled her household with an iron fist. Her husband, Enegide, was a quiet, gentle soul who tried his best to keep the peace in the house. But Ada's anger and aggression often boiled over. She would beat her husband for the smallest perceived wrong. She never gave him the chance. But the first time they got married, it was not like that. Ada was loving, caring, and gave Enegede whatever he wanted. Enegede always provided food, money, clothing, and worshipped Ada. But suddenly, Ada changed. Ada changed and she beat her husband for the smallest perceived wrong. What was actually happening, Enegide could not tell. What could have caused this? He often wondered. Enegide was not a man of violence and he detested fighting. But Ada would pick him up like a piece of wood and hit him on the ground. Whenever neighbors heard the commotion, Ada would shout for help, claiming Enegide was the one beating her. She would be screaming at the top of her voice as if Enegide was killing her. She would be shouting, Biani o, Ogegbufumo, Biani o, Ogegbufumo, in her dialect, calling people to come, that Enegide, her husband wants to kill her. The neighbors, when they heard such commotion, would be wondering what was actually happening. How can a man be beating his wife like this almost every day? While the neighbors would start to shout, Enegide, leave your wife alone, wicked man. Leave your wife alone. Is that how other men treat their wives? They'll be hitting the door, Enegide. Whereas deep down in the house, Ada was the one beating and pouncing on her husband without mercy on the ground behind closed doors. The neighbors, fooled by her cries, will rush in only to find Enegide cowering in a corner, a man for that matter, his eyes pleading for them to see the truth. But they did not see any truth because Ada would be somewhere inside the room, rolling herself that Enegide had been beating her. She will shout, my head is paining me. Enegide has almost killed me. Enegide, while she was the one that was doing the real deed. One day, a wise old woman, upon hearing the sound, the noise, the quarrel, and the shouting of Ada, out of fear, ran to the window in Ada's house and opened it. She peered in. The wise old woman saw everything happening through the window and quickly went to meet the neighbors. She told them what was happening, and the neighbors, including the old woman, went to the door to force it open. The surprised neighbors, when they visited Ada's household, they saw the bruises on Enegide's face and the fear in his eyes, fear in a man's eyes. It was too much for them to bear. The women charged in annoyance. They stared at Ada. And Ada, they brought her and sat her down and they asked her why she treated her husband so poorly. Ada was shocked that her evil ways had been found out. She broke down in tears, crying, revealing her own struggles with insecurity and fear. The neighbors listened patiently, offering words of wisdom and advice to her. Listen, the old woman said, a person's strength lies not in dominating others the way you are dominating your husband, but in controlling their own emotions. You have to control your emotions. You don't have to lay it on your husband. Your husband has been a good man, giving you food, clothing you nicely, giving you money, making sure you are comfortable. Why all these beatings? Do you want to kill the man? Do you want to kill a negede? And you keep shouting as though he was the one that was beating you. Oh, what a world. They were disappointed in Ada. Ada was fined by the community. She began to reflect on her actions and slowly learned to manage her temper. She apologized to her husband, who had already lost hope in ever being sure that the marriage will actually continue. But with her humility, humbleness, and apologies, her husband accepted. And I also apologized to the neighbors, begging for their forgiveness. She begged and begged, and the neighbors had to reconcile her and her husband properly. With their guidance, she built a healthier relationship with her husband. Soon, Ada's household transformed. A negative smile returned. He saw the love and the woman he had married from the beginning. And although he had suffered a lot in her hands, he was happy she had made a change to her attitude. She built a healthier relationship with her husband, and both of them reunited as it was in the beginning. And so Ada's household transformed. And the neighbors were happy when they saw Negede's smile return. The neighbors also learned to see beyond Ada's facade. It was clear that sometimes the truth behind closed doors is the opposite of what it seems. And that story became a valuable lesson about not judging situations at face value and the importance of empathy and self-awareness. So, as Ada's relationship with Enegida, her husband, progressed, it was evident that it would be a lasting marriage. It wasn't long Ada became pregnant and gave birth to a very beautiful baby girl. Enegede was very happy. He extended all the love that he had thought was not existing in his heart anymore to the baby. And the relationship was something admired by others. He showered his wife with a lot of nice things. He bought a big house for the wife, for them to be comfortable with their baby. And the neighbors came to see Ada. They told her, you see, this man you would have lost if you had not changed. But today, with your change of attitude, look at what you are gaining now. Are we the ones gaining it? Are we the ones gaining all these things? They asked her. Ada saw that she had good neighbors, and she was very grateful at that. During the naming ceremony of the baby, they gifted her a lot. And she was happy that they lived in a place different from their hometown. Otherwise, Enigede's parents would have made sure the marriage never continued. They would have made sure the marriage was broken. That is why in this life, never touch your partner, be you a man or a woman. Never beat your wife, never beat your husband. Through beating, you can kill your wife. Through beating, you can kill your husband. It is good to iron things out when you have differences. So, guys, that is the end of the story. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for listening and watching.